What's going on, guys? It's yugioh here, and today I wanted to talk about what goes through my head whenever I'm like deck building and stuff. Because obviously right now there's YCS Anaheim, which I'm actually watching right now, watching semifinals. So we got that going on, and then I also want whenever I was deck building for after the live stream I did today on Twitch. I'll put a link there. Name will change at some point. I'll get there. But whenever I got after the live stream, me and my friend, we sat down and we started talking about what we think should go, what goes through our heads during deck building. And the thing that hit the most was probably which staples to main deck, what the side deck, and just how everything's situational. So I wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit. So I got some advice from a guy who does YouTube documentaries. I forget what his name is, but he's the guy that talked about Mystic Mind. But he did an interview with Jessie, and if you don't know who Jessie is, he's probably one of the most well-known Yu-Gi-Oh players, aside from Jeff Leonard. But Jessie talked about how what goes through his head during deck building, and when I listened, I thought that it was this makes a lot of sense looking back. So what he said was, first of all, you gotta think of after you complete your deck, you gotta think of problems, and then you gotta try to solve that problem. And you gotta think of all these hypothetical scenarios and what you do to get out of that scenario. So you're gonna need a really, really flexible deck. So Yomi, I guess, can be pretty flexible. Mitsurugi's really flexible. A lot of decks have a lot of different playability, and it's just what do you do to solve that problem? So in my situation, what I do is I'll think of all the different decks. It's like I said earlier today, we were talking about what to do, or what we should side. And so obviously we're gonna situational. I run 3 copies of the 2 main Charmies, Perulia and Fualos. I only side out 2 copies of each, simply because I have lost because I got Fualos, and I had cross out Designator in hand, but I couldn't cross out the Fualos because I sided it out. So that actually lost me a tournament. That lost me the finals. So there's that you don't want to mess up. And you really gotta think of what you do in certain situations, because you're going first, you're not, you could get Charmed, but you have the called by in your deck, but you don't get it. So just you have the alternate option, but you don't have the target. So that just sucks. And then I was playing Autobot Razio at the time. I just went into the Guska, and that one draw gave him his start, because he didn't have anything. But no, at the time I did not know that. So he got his starter, and he went full combo on me and finished me in 1 turn, because I didn't want to build a board because I didn't want to give him draws. So everything that kind of happens, anything that happens, you want to think over see to yourself, like, is this the right move? Should I side this out? Should I not side this out? Like, there's a lot of different options. Like, as you are aware, I'm playing Yummy. I don't want to play Mitsurugi Yummy. It just doesn't sit well with me. I have debated building a Mitsurugi deck list for you guys, but I don't know how to play it, so I couldn't. So I'm just like, I'm in the process of learning that. I'm in the process of like trying to figure out which cards are good to keep, which cards are not good to keep. And it's just like stuff like that. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about is like, I mean, I gave you like a brief reason on why I side deck certain cards, but like why I side these in at this certain time. So like obviously I can run bestials if I want. A lot of decks have light darks, but majority also have like fires and like machine or like other weird decks that people don't expect, and decks that like fly under the radar. Like I even went as far as thinking about like how would I do against a Tenpai matchup, because like I'm not expecting that. And as we saw at YCS Loyal, Odeon, Tomb Keeper, Odeon, whatever you want to call it, that deck won because no one was prepared for it. So like this is really taking into effect like how do you deal with all these different like decks that like had potential but never really that never really got anywhere. So it's just like, what do I do? So at this point it's just like, how do you hand, like, I thought about Tenpai, I thought about Yugioh, I thought about Automat Ryzeal, which I'm actually watching that feature match right now in the semis. And it's just like, how do I go about all these different things? But when it comes to deck building, that's just the one thing that I think about when it comes to deck building. Like I said, shout out to Jessie for that piece of advice. Like, and if you didn't listen to me earlier, what he said was, when it comes to deck building, you want to think of like, try to think of all the problems that you could come across, and then solve those problems, and then that will leave openings for more problems, and then you want to solve those problems. So it's just like, that's just why I play the way I do. Like, I know I'm not going to bring out the Salomon Great Mirage. I know I'm not gonna do that. But like there's never such thing as too prepared for this game. And like, yes, I know decks run a lot more non-engine, but like that also makes them a little more bricky. Granted, that also gives you more opportunities to also like means that they have more starters. So it's just like, you never know what you're gonna get, which is something that I think has been really interesting for me. But yeah, that's kind of been what's going on with me. I hope you guys have a nice day. Like and subscribe, follow my Instagram. I'll be keeping, I will make an update every Saturday about the tournament that I will be hosting on the 25th. Join the Discord, and maybe I'll play Master Duel with you guys, who knows. But yeah, it's been a pleasure. Peace out.